Hey guys, Happy New Year. I'm Al Washington and welcome to my Mystical Lost podcast. I am here with author Mae Drelle, and we're going to be talking about her latest book, One Dark River. And I'm going to go ahead and pass the mic over to Mae so she can introduce herself to everybody.
Hey, thank you. Like Al said, I am Mae Drelle. I just released my new book, One Dark River, here on the 2nd, I believe. And yeah, I'm very excited to kind of be here and just talk about it a little bit.
Okay, fantastic. All right, well, that sounds good. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. So, the birth of the first book for the Havenworth Diaries book series,
Mhm.
One Dark River. So, how did it all started? Like, what came about the birth, the seeds that you planted for the first book?
So, like, to be 100% honest, right? I read Nocticadia by Carrie Lake. I don't know if you've read that book.
I have not yet. No. Mm-mm.
Okay, it is absolutely fantastic. It's a dark academia. There's like a lot of like medical stuff involved. It's really, really, it was my top read last year. I loved it. I fell in love with it. And I read that and I was like, you know what, something like that, if I could like birth something like that myself, it would be so cool to be able to incorporate, some of those darker elements, like with specifically like the academia portion of it, like a professor student situation. And so I kind of took that inspiration for like that particular genre and I kind of started developing and thinking about like, okay, what would this look like? So it just kind of snowballed from there, basically.
Oh, it's okay. Yeah, definitely. I definitely see that. And not giving too much again when we're talking about the book, I wanted to discuss the contrast with two of your main characters. And I
Yeah.
like how in the book, and first of all, I want to say, I like how in the forward section that you're letting the readers know that is a darker tone, especially with dealing with certain themes of mature content. Because
Yes.
on a side note, I recently just read about certain people protesting that when books are on the shelf or in the library, and I know they're creating more Barnes and Noble stores, which is a good
Mhm.
thing. Thank God for that, because definitely we love reading as writers and authors, but um,
Right.
some people are protesting that certain books shouldn't be on the shelf based on the content. So my thing is that just like a movie or a song, you're getting a warning of, like I said,
Mhm.
what's in there. So like I said, so you guys wasting your time, no offense, protesting if you don't want your kids or you don't want to read it in general. So like I said, freedom of speech, and that's what I'm glad you put that in there
Right.
for the fourth worth in the beginning of the book. Just this contains A, B, and C, like rape, um, killings, murderings, looting.
Murder.
So I definitely
Yeah.
appreciate you definitely doing that. And like I said, and it's a good book so far overall that I'm reading. But getting into it, especially with your two characters, is it Tyron? Am I saying her name correctly?
So
Tyron?
it's Aaron.
Taryn, excuse me, Taryn. And the serial killer Adrian. When you
Yes.
were writing them, were there times where you had a difficult challenge writing both of them or just one of them? Not their actions, but just like a difficult part to kind of bring it out as you're still continuing, obviously with the first book. But did you have like a challenge from one of them or like any difficult?
Yeah, I think so. So without giving too much away
Right.
as far as like the ending goes, just because like if when once you get into it, you kind of see like as a reader, there's a reason for certain things. But like specifically with Adrian, obviously I'm not a professor, I am not a medical examiner. So going into it and having to do, some of that research for more of like the medical terminology, which I didn't include a ton of in this book. I didn't include so like as you're reading, there's scenes where she's in his lectures,
Right.
um and stuff like that. There's not a whole lot of content as far as like the actual lecture goes. There's a reason for that. Um, but those scenes work a little bit more difficult for me just because I don't have any prior knowledge of that sort of thing. So that was a little bit more difficult to kind of use my imagination, be like, okay, but I need it to be, like realistic. So if somebody who knows what they're talking about reads it, they're going to be like, oh, she doesn't know what she's talking about.
Right. But it's kind
So,
of like you're learning as you go, though. I know majority of the number one rule of like writing is write what you know. That's true. But at the same time, if you want to explore something new or try something different, I think that's great. Even though you're honest with yourself, you say, okay, you don't know much about the medical anatomy of it, but you're learning as you go. So, and it's a
yes.
challenge too. I think that's great. So to discover something new. and you can
Yeah,
research and just, yeah, keep up with it. So, okay.
yeah, for sure.
Definitely. And not giving too much away, was there like a scene or a chapter besides the characters that you also found the most challenging overall? And how did you get through it?
Um, so I think what I found most challenging, so there's a major plot twist at the end. So the very
Right.
last two chapters, chapter, gosh, I'm drawing a blank. It's I think 32 and 33. I believe there's 33 chapters. I need to go back and look.
Oh yeah, you're
Um, but
no.
I've been so frazzled lately.
Right.
But I believe it's chapter 32 and chapter 33 reveal everything. And for me, the transition between, say, like the normal, what we know in this story up until this point, and then revealing what we reveal in the last two chapters, that was a difficult transition for me to
Right.
make work because I didn't want it to be like, um you read it and you're like, oh, what the heck's going on? Like, I didn't want the readers to be confused, but I wanted it to be a shock. And that is some feedback that I've gotten to where readers are have told me like, oh, I had to go back a couple pages and make sure
Right.
that I read what I read, which is kind of what I wanted, but I didn't want it to be like too confusing. So that was difficult for me to kind of like make that a seamless transition, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Doesn't appreciate that. All right. But
Yeah.
overall, how, like for the book one for the first Haven with Diaries series, how was it how was it getting it out? Like how do you feel overall? Do you feel relieved? Do you feel rejuvenated? Do you feel like fucking finally?
Yeah, absolutely. This has been like my brainchild for the last 4 months. And I say that lightly because like I'm a pretty fast writer as far as my process goes. So I'll just kind of hammer it out and everything. But it's been my baby and I'm so happy to finally have it out there. I'm starting to get ARC reviews back. Um, so it's definitely like the fruits of my labors are showing, and I'm very relieved and I'm very excited.
Very happy for you. Okay. And again, congratulations.
Thank you.
With that being said, I know that you're kind of like taking a break. He's like, oh, now book one is done. So,
Yes.
and not going too much in the second one. Are we going to be seeing a book two soon? How's that coming along? For
So it is going good. I've gotten the first three chapters written so far.
okay,
Um, and my writing process is a little bit all over the place. So like I'll start writing before I have an idea of like where the story is going.
right.
And then I'll start plotting once I've got a couple chapters out and I've got like a feel for the characters and everything. Because something we are going to be seeing in book two is our characters kind of do a personality switch where Adrian was very domineering and kind of mysterious and cold and bored. He's going to be the one that has a lot more feeling in the second book. And there's reasons for that. When we finish the first book and everybody kind of knows what happens, you'll understand why the reason is for that. But so Taryn in the second book is going to be a little bit more, she's going to be a little bit more cold, a little bit more manipulative, a lot more volatile.
Wow.
Um, so we're going to see a lot of changes in the second book from, kind of the vibes of the first one.
Oh, nice. Okay, yeah, I definitely can't wait for that. And I already read most of the reviews, and they obviously did say it was a lot of it was a plot twist and it's leaving like a cliffhanger. So I know they're excited, like I
Yeah.
said, to get to the second book for that. Okay. Excellent. So
Yeah.
May, let me ask you, why did you want to become a writer? Did something or someone lit a fire under your ass to bring out the passion as an author?
Not really. It's just something that I've always enjoyed. Like as long as I can remember, I've always been writing. When I was a teenager specifically, and
Hmm.
I'm not ashamed to admit this now because I am confident with who I am now, but when I was a teenager, I wrote fan fiction all the time. That was all I
Right.
did.
Hmm.
Like I wrote fan fiction novels and everything, and that as an adult really kind of prepared me to when I picked this hobby back up early last year. because I had stopped writing for a long time. I had kids and I have a family now, and like it just becomes a lot harder to kind of hold on to those hobbies and interests when you're working and you've got family and everything. So
Right.
I picked it back up. I really was like, you know what, I could actually do this, and I could actually, publish a book and move forward with something that's been like a dream for me for a long time. So
No, and it definitely is difficult. Like I said, especially you said family, anything can be any priorities life that throws at us or just that we have. And that
yeah.
like I said, I give you props for definitely, even though there's only 24 hours in a day, but you're making the time. You made the time to get the book out. And like I said, so it may not happen in a day, but you definitely just still got it out and you're still carving time to really pursue what you love to do. And I think that's great, like I said, for anybody, and especially including me with other,
Mhm.
again, like priorities that we have in our lives. So yeah, absolutely. And with
Yeah,
that
it's
being
really important to have
ab
those hobbies and interests for sure.
absolutely hobby, career, either way, definitely you're doing what you love, like I said, to do. So definitely kudos to
Yeah,
you.
thank
With that being said, you're very welcome. With
you.
that being said, do you have any tips or pointers for all the creative writers?
I think the biggest thing, and it's like really cheesy, but just do what you love. You know, if something doesn't work out, like I've got probably 8 unfinished books that I started writing in various genres before I found kind of my home in dark romance.
Hmm.
I'd start writing it, I'd get, several chapters in, and I'm not feeling this.
Right.
I don't know where this is going. I'm not feeling it. And then you kind of find your home and you find your niche, and that inspiration keeps going. You just have to kind of find what you're comfortable with and keep trying. Don't just give up if something's not working out. There's always something out there. If you want to be a writer or an author, and it's something that you enjoy and it's something that you want to do, there's gonna be a place for you somewhere. You just have to find that home and then roll with it, I think.
I agree. Absolutely. Yeah, I hear that. So, thank you, May. Again, if you want to let everybody know where they can find you, your website, Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, if you want to let everyone know where they can find you.
Yeah. So, I am currently working with Ingram Spark to be published on like Barnes and Noble, Kobo, like any online retailer that you can find pretty much. But I don't believe the listings are up yet. So keep an eye out for that if you don't shop Amazon. If you do shop Amazon, I am listed under Mae Drelle. I've got One Dark River and my first book, my standalone, His Devotion, are out. They're available on paperback, ebook, and Kindle Unlimited. And then you can also find, just more information about me at maydrellauthor.com. I've got my blog, I've got my books listed there as well. So,
Okay, no, definitely do appreciate that. So, guys, definitely
yeah.
check it out. One Dark River, part of the Havenworth Diaries. Book one is out, like she said, on paperback, excuse me, and ebook, especially on Amazon. So, but again, May, thank you very much for coming on with me and talking about your latest. I can't wait for book two. Um,
Thank you.
you're very
I'm
welcome.
so happy to be here.
Same here, absolutely. You're welcome, and thank you guys for coming and joining with us, with me and May. So, if not, I will see you guys next time.